Hey, Steve.
Hey, Jim. Um, what's up, man?
Well, I've been thinking about this big announcement we've got today, and I'll tell you what, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
What, Jim? That's the wrong network.
I believe you're right. And welcome once again to Two Guys Talking About Records, a vinyl community podcast. I'm not really angry, Steve. This is the most joyous time of the year. We're right here in the middle of the two holidays, and my weeks are all screwed up, so I'm a little discombobulated. And I apologize if I came across a little frosty there.
I've been messed up this week, something fierce too, Jim. So I was like, what day? Really? Oh, okay.
Well, we have got a big one to try to muddle through here regardless. My name is Jim, and I own a record store.
And I'm Steve, a record collector.
And Steve, we're not kidding about a big show today, are we? We've got our
No.
year-end list coming up here. We've got some cool categories. We've got some great new additions. I think both of us have a major addition to the collections this week to show off.
Yeah.
And we've got some tremendous news regarding our little get-together here every Sunday. This is pretty immense, isn't it?
It's a shocker, man. It's like, really? Alrighty then.
Well, I know you've teased it on your channel, and I've been teasing it on my social media here at the store and the store's channel as well. So why don't we just dive right into it and tell all of our loyal listeners what's going on and how we're wrapping up 2025 in a big way and kind
Yeah.
of heading into 26 in even a bigger way. Okay.
Exactly.
Do we get a
Take it
drum
away,
roll?
man.
Okay, drum roll, please. There we go. So, folks, here it is. About 2-3 weeks ago, Steve. It's 2-3 weeks ago now.
Mhm.
I got an email out of the clear blue here at the store from someone over at the BLEAVE Podcast Network. Jeffrey there sent an email to me and said, "Hey, we have checked out your podcast, the Two Guys Talking About Records, and we think that you would make a great addition to our stable of talent." And first of all, I sent you a note saying that, it's kind of a liberal use of the word talent that they have, but I understand where they're coming from. So here we are, folks. We are very, very proud to announce that Steve and I and the Two Guys Talking About Records podcast are now officially a part of the BLEAVE Podcast Network. And this is based out of Los Angeles. This is big for us, man.
It's who would have thunk that, man? I mean, at all, but yeah, it is big. It's kind of exciting and totally out of the blue, unexpected.
It was. What I just got to ask, what was your response when I texted you, or did I call you? I'm trying to remember what I did to break the news to you that we'd been contacted.
The first thought was, is this are they from Nigeria?
Yeah, and there was some hesitation on my part, but I did the research, and I've been in great contact with these folks, and we are, I mean, as of last week, but officially this week because we're announcing it, we are now on the BLEAV Podcast Network as part of their team of their big stable of podcasters, sorry, heading out. And I see now we're going to lose it because I can't even get that right.
Yeah. Well, what's nice is, we have over 140 episodes
Yep.
then that goes on to that, onto their network. So we're coming in at least with a nice group of, podcasts.
Well, let me show off the network really quick here. I've got that called up, and this is, it's BLEAV, spelled BLEAV, and it's BLEAV.com, and we'll put some links up through here as well. But this is what was kind of just surprising to me, because in your looking at this now, they're mostly known as a sports podcast network. They started off in the Los Angeles area, hosting by the means of their digitally hosting other hosts talking about local LA sports teams. So all of the professional sports teams in LA had their own podcast, and this network began as an outcropping or a gathering together of those local sports podcasts. They grew over time into hosting other sports podcasts from other teams in other cities. And now they're huge. They have hundreds of podcasts. And when I was contacted about bringing us on, I was told that this is part of their effort. Yes, they are a predominantly sports-centric podcast network, but they're really trying to branch themselves into the lifestyle podcasts. So there's a few music podcasts on here already. We'll show those off in a second. And they wanted to help expand that area of their podcasting network. And they approached us. And after some talking here and there, we looked everything over and we said, heck yeah, man, let's do this.
And to make it even better for them, we're going to try to add as much sports analogy as we can into showing our records, so everyone will kind of get what we're talking about.
So we're going to go the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Nice start, Jim. Way to go. That's a score.
Here we go.
Score.
So here's what they've got. They've got some featured shows. I don't see us on here just yet, but this is going to take a little bit of a while. I mean, we'll work our way up through here. But yeah, you're right. We have over 140 now, close to 150 episodes that have been moved over to this. So if we just kind of do their search. Let's search their shows that they've got here. And you can see the type of stuff we've got. Categories in there, all of their podcasts. We can look straight down through arts, business, comedy, education, government, history, kids and family. They've got them all. But let's go down to the music, Steve. And here we are, sitting right in here with the likes of the CSG, the let's see, the Grind Lifestyle, Kyle and Kevin, Mark and Sarah talk about songs. This one here I'm really interested in, the Tay Learning podcast. It's a Taylor Swift podcast, all about Taylor Swift, and stuck in the 80s. But I think we are the only ones that are a vinyl-centric talking about records. You know, there's a couple of other music ones, but we are talking about records, and that gives us a little bit of an edge here.
That it does. And, it's for the young folks because that's what we are.
Yes, indeed. They're looking for that coveted 60-plus demographic on this. So here's what BLEAV is bringing to the table on this is they have got essentially a hosting and distribution platform, but they also have a network of advertisers that they work with. And that's going to be the biggest change for you and I in how this podcast is done, is that there will now, on the audio side, if you're listening through Spotify and Apple or Amazon and the like, or right straight from the BLEAV network page, you're getting an audio-only podcast, and you're hearing some advertisements in there. And that's being taken care of on the network side of things. It may expand a little bit further for you and I down the line, depending upon how much we take off. But the folks at the network, I'm in contact with their tech people, their marketing people, and just in general, they're helping us grow this podcast. They want us to get bigger and better because if we do, then they do as well, and they do better with this as well. So I mean, that's again very exciting. But if you go to the BLEAV.com, BLEAV.com, again, we'll put links up. You can find us and a lot of other great podcasts on here. But this, as I mentioned, Steve, has already happened. The migration of our podcast to the network has already happened. Those of you who watch us on YouTube didn't notice anything, and you're probably, the YouTube side, you're probably not going to see or hear any ads. I mean, for the time being, that may change down the line, but the YouTube side of things, to my knowledge, is not changing at all. But the audio side of things, the Spotify, we used to be hosted through Spotify, and that's where we got those great numbers. I feel kind of bad because Spotify gave us that award last week, saying, "Hey, great job, guys!" And we turn around and sign up with a network, and
it's kind of like a professional athlete.
There
They
we
get an
go.
award, go, that's great. I'm going there now because I'm
we were unrestricted free agents at the time.
Yes.
How's that sound? So yeah, if you are a listener to this podcast, you may have already started to notice that there are some commercials popping up pre-show, after the show, and maybe one or two midway through the show. And that's going to be the biggest difference because that's how these types of podcasts work. I mean, they generate the revenue for the networks and their hosts and the creators by selling advertisement. We don't have any specific ads, to our content yet. There's hopes that they're going to work their way toward that, I guess. But right now, we're just kind of getting the generic ads. I don't know if that means that there's going to be a lot of sports bet stuff on there, but likely we're going to hear it. we could get the odds down on whether or not Steve's going to buy a new box set in the next 3 weeks.
Yes. I think that's an excellent one. Yes,
There we
we'll
go.
do that.
But again, yeah, you folks aren't going to notice a difference unless you watch the video on Spotify. There was video, but I think that the majority, in looking at the analytics that we've had, the majority of our viewership or listenership on Spotify was audio only. You could dig in, but audio, Spotify tends to be more of a audio podcast platform, although they do have video. Apple, especially, a little bit of video, but audio as well. And we're already starting to get a little bit of traction on BLEAV. You know, I've got the stats page I'll share with you after we're done here today, and we can check that out. But this is kind of big for us, Steve.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, again, it wasn't not something we're looking for or whatever. We do this no matter what. Just that's what we do.
And that's what makes this interesting too, is because when they approached us, and I think me especially was a little naive about all of this stuff because we've never done this podcast with the intent of we're going to earn money. Steve, you can finally retire and take off that pool cleaning Speedo. And
no way, man. I look too hot in that.
And, you know, I'm not going to give up doing the record store. In fact, when we I think just before we did the whole contractual thing with the folks at the network, I sent them a message saying, listen, my first and primary concern is the record store. That is my livelihood. That is my business. The podcast is kind of to the side. I enjoy doing it. We're going to keep doing it. We're not going to stop. But you have to realize that sometimes I'm not going to answer email directly, especially during seasons like the holiday shopping season or record store day in April type of thing. It's going to get a little dicey. And your stuff happening, you know, in and around the summertime when you get busy with what you do. So, and they were cool with that. They said, hey, you guys have been very consistent. And I think that's one of the things that they were looking for. We joked around, I think, last week in talking about the Spotify numbers, that there are just so many podcasts out there that the fact that we're consistent enough and we get however many hundreds of views or thousands of views or downloads, they call them, per month, that we rose to the near top of that pile because of our consistency and because of the consistency of the audience that folks listen to us and watch us with. And I think that was kind of a contributing factor to BLEAVE's decision to approach us, which I'm tremendously thankful for.
Consistency pays off. If you're bringing in someone, you're like, oh, they didn't do one this week, or when do they do one? You know, it's kind of like my early morning Sunday show. It's going to be there. You know, hell or high water, it's there because you got to be consistent.
Yep, and that's the same thing with the Stores channel on YouTube as well. You know, I aim for that consistency, except this past, I say that after we had an ice storm on Friday and the store had to be closed, so I missed a vinyl drop and a vinyl drop video for the first time in quite some time. And the folks, they let me know it, by the way, our customers.
No kidding. You had a big ice storm on Friday. Yeah, you said you had another one coming today, but
there's another one. Yeah,
Friday you had to shut down today. Wow.
Yep. The day after Christmas, we got hit with it wasn't terrible, and I've seen worse, but it was just, I'm outside trying to scrape the ice off the car, and it started thundering and lightning out at the middle of a ice storm. So I thought, you know what, this is a sign. I'm just going to close the store and go in and veg out. But folks, if you want to check out the BLEAV show network, all you have to go is to BLEAV.com, BLEAV.com. You can check out their entire roster of shows, and you can get a little bit of information about the BLEAV network as well. They're a premier audio and video network that produces, distributes, and sells a diverse range of sports and lifestyle content. Over 500 shows, by the way. That's the number I was reaching for. So this is a kind of a cool thing, and we're very happy to be a part of this. But as I said, folks, if you watch us on YouTube, you're not going to notice any kind of a change. We're still going to do the YouTube side of things, but the BLEAV network is going to help us reach, I think, a lot more people on the audio side.
I think they asked me to promote Metamucil.
No more poop ads for you is what you're saying. Well, that is. I guess we're going to fit that in there, aren't we? Well, regardless, I think it's a great way for us to wrap up the year. And again, we would
It
not have
is.
been able to get to this without the folks that watch us. We talk about consistency in producing the show, Steve's. It's the consistency of the folks that watch us and comment and listen to us every week that help lead us to this point. I'm tremendously thankful for everybody that supports us.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's when you get a nice group of people that's always there, and on the YouTube side putting comments or whatever, it's pretty darn cool. So yes, huge thank you for that.
And for those of you who are new to the Believe side of things, welcome. We'll try not to be too strange, but we talk about records, and that's pretty much it. We're going to get into music, obviously, and through here, but records is the passion that Steve and I share, and we have been friends for a long time and meeting every Sunday morning to talk about records. We just started doing the podcast as an aside to that. For those that are new.
Yes. So welcome. Why don't we show some records? Because
Indeed.
the people that just joined or listening can't see them. So let's just show them.
No, we'll talk about them too. How's that? But one of the things we do every week, see, I fit that in there for your advertiser, Steve. One of the things that we do every week is show off the most recent additions and pickups to our collection, and we kick off with that. So we'll get to our year-end wrap-up very shortly here, but first, let's dive into the pickups. Steve, this was the Christmas season. We're coming off of that. We're in that in-between week where everything's a little weird. You must have gotten a pile of records as gifts this year, didn't you? You always do.
There's never a record under my Christmas tree, except one year when my son contacted you.
Yep, I do remember that.
Yep, that's been it. But I did put a pile of records because I thought, well, you know what? I might as well go shop and get me some records for Christmas.
Wrap them up and put From Santa on them. And you go, oh, yeah. Santa.
What's nice this time of year is everyone's doing, their favorite albums of the year. And so I hear about new groups that I didn't know about, that I've missed. And I like that because I got 2 albums here and I have more that I will show later that I've seen from these. And the first is a group called The Chords. And I think they're out of Dallas. And it's 2 ladies. It is indie pop, jangle pop. Outstanding. I mean, I can't. I wish I could remember who showed this to me on beautiful blue vinyl. And look, I didn't even get the freaking thing in the sleeve. How about that? Now, the only problem I have with this record is it's 45 RPM. Does it say it's 45? It does not say it anywhere. On Discogs, it goes 45 RPM, but the album doesn't. So every time I put it on, it's on at 33. And it's still upbeat and fast at 33 RPM. You put it on to 45 and we take off. But really enjoying this one. The Chords.
That is one of my pet peeves, and you can guarantee that the submitter that put in the 45 RPM on Discogs was surprised, like you were as well. They found out the hard way.
I'm just going, it's a female voice, but boy, her voice just doesn't sound that great.
Now, if you'd been I've had people do that where they've bought them and they bring them back to the store saying something's wrong with this record. It's not what it. Well, push the button.
Yep.
Okay.
The next one is another new group out of Scotland, the Chimers. And this is Through Today, and they've put out a few albums. Post-punk might be the best way. Kind of punk, a little post-punk in there. So it's a little bit harder. Great stuff. Again, I've been really enjoying this. A group I didn't hear about or see about on black vinyl. I have to dig in more into these, but I am enjoying it because it does have that edgier music that you get out of post-punk, which I think we can still say that genre now. I don't know. Genres have to change. I'm sure there's something more, a cooler name for this genre.
Let's coin it right now, Steve. You and I, we'll call it post-punk.
Okay, yeah, there, yes, post-punk.
Because seeing
My
as
friend
we're
Michael.
40 some years post punk, so
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, very true. It's that's way gone. Our friend Michael Christensen, he sent me this. It's called the Buck Pets.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
you've heard of the Buck
I
Pets?
have heard of the Buck Pets, yes.
I had not heard of the Buck. Actually, this came in. I was trying to figure out where'd this come from. Now, Michael had told me he's sending me a album, sent the tracking, but I kind of forgot. And come in and go, what the hell? Did one of the discog sellers send me the wrong album? And then I was conversing with Michael and found out that was from him. But yeah, so the Buck Pets is kind of grunge, alt rock from I think '89. This came out,
I
and
say I kind of
this
I remember them as a college radio group.
oh my god, this thing rocks. It is. I mean, these guys come out and just a lot of power to this group. Definitely into the grunge, alt rock type of thing. I was totally blown away by this. It just sounded fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah, hit the nail on the head with that. Then, well, Elton John, man, greatest hits. I can't believe I didn't have. This is the first greatest hits. I got this when I joined Columbia Record Club, and for all you Elton John fans, I'm sorry, this is the one I need. Now I have some of his other stuff, but you know what I'm going to put on? I love this album because it just has all the hits on there. And so Jim had this. It has the insert and stuff. It has the original sleeve, and obviously doesn't cost a lot. But nope. Yeah, I mean, I love this album when it came out. And
that's a label merch insert, isn't it?
If I recall. It is. And I was shocked I hadn't pick this thing back up yet again. And so when Jim showed it, and it was in just fantastic condition, I go, it's time. Now I have to decide, do I need my other Elton John albums or not? I got to think about that one because the purge has to start here really soon.
26 purge will hold you to it. Okay.
Yep.
Betting odds. It's Steve Purges versus Bizarre.
Yes. There we go. It's available on FanDuel right now. Yeah. And then the final, Jim sent me this, and I'm kind of blown away by it because I didn't expect that. Because I definitely was going to buy it, but it's a Metallica album, and Kill 'Em All. It took me 40 years to get into Metallica. Some people just take a while, but I've been listening to this early Metallica stuff, and I mean, I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't like a lot of that hair metal, but these guys are different. I think there's maybe more anger, more angst with them than other ones. That might be it. More power. And so it falls into kind of what I, really, really like. But I used to have it on CD. I played it once, maybe twice, whatever, and, filed it. This is great, and it sounds good. Didn't skip, didn't nothing there, cool. Jim. I mean, it played through really, really well.
And that is one of the originals off of Megaforce label as well, which makes it
yes.
I guess we're considering that the signing bonus.
There we go. and it's just a picture of Metallica as kids. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about wow, man. To look back now, but then we can do that too. Someone posted a video. They were talking about Vinyl Richie, and he had some stuff for me from 2019 with Vinyl Tag. Damn, I had no gray hair, no nothing. I have aged a lot. I don't know what's causing it, Jim, but something is. But yeah, this is phenomenal, Jim. I'm kind of blown away and very, very, very cool. And I know you got a few other on your back wall that I'm eyeing.
Yeah, they all came in the same collection before Record Store Day, so it was kind of I know you were looking.
Yeah, he is. And so now he's like feeding me. He's like throwing out this bait, Your
first one's free, Steve.
Yeah.
time after
And
that.
now, here's
Now we
what.
really, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we got the other sealed kill 'em all back there. If you're, no, you don't. You got one to save, one to play. There you go.
Yeah, we have it.
So those are your
All
pickups?
right, Jim. That's what I mean. There's others. That's all we're showing.
Okay. I've got a few as well, including my signing bonus. We'll get to that here in a second, the big one. But let me kick off with the brand new one from Lettuce. I know you showed another Lettuce album on
Yeah,
your show this
the
week, your
first
Sunday
one.
show this week. This is their brand new one called Cook. And it was delayed getting to the store. And I know you'd been wanting, and I do have your copy here, so we'll get that out to you. So I won't go too far into it. We'll save it for a bigger discussion when you get yours and have a chance to listen. But this is on a Coke bottle clear vinyl, double LP. Very cool. Sounds great. For those unfamiliar, these guys are funk. I'd say almost a modern funk, but
Funk and jazz.
jazz.
There's definitely
This
some
one's got
jazz
more
happening in
soul
there.
sound in it too, I think.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
And the other thing we were wondering, it did come with an insert, Steve, and with an album named Cook, you get an insert full of recipes from the band. So each band member has contributed a recipe for this. I've not tried any of the recipes. I've listened to the record, but not tried the recipes. Adam Dad's
Maybe,
Caesar salad, basil watermelon salad from Eric Maverick Kumis. There's a lot of salads. These guys.
he
I
loves,
need something
well,
fried.
they are lettuce,
That's
Jim.
true. That's going to be the only greenery you'll get, Steve.
Maybe that's how we can branch the channel. Now, this week we were cooking with lettuce.
So we'll talk more when you get your copy. I'll give you a chance to listen to it. We can discuss it. So another ad. This one was for Kim. I got this for her for Christmas. There's a steadfast rule in your house. Your family does not buy you vinyl for Christmas. In our house, I'm not allowed to buy vinyl for my wife for Christmas because, at the record store, we kind of have it here. But this one, she made an exception for. We're big Smithereens fans. The album 11 from the Smithereens has been on her grail list. We finally picked one up 4 or 5 years ago. Really nice copy of it. And I knew that this was out there, but I didn't think it came out in 2011, but it was only just released. Let me get over to that page here. Only released, I think, last year from the Smithereens. It came out in 2011, but the vinyl version of 2011 was not put out until 2025. So yeah, earlier this year, this was released. That's why I've never really had it. It only came out as a CD in 2011. And oddly enough, this is the Smithereens' 11th album, their 11th studio album. And they'd made it before their lead singer, Pat Denizio, passed away in 2017. So it sounds like the Smithereens. I've listened online, but we haven't opened this copy yet. We'll get to that over this weekend. But what's also really cool about this, Steve, is this brought back producer Don Dixon, who did a lot of the Smithereens' earlier stuff. Okay. He was a big producer for college radio. I think did he work with REM? I'm going to have to stop and think. But Dixon did a lot of work with the Smithereens. And he had some solo albums as well that I used to have and got rid of and probably should look for again. Don Dixon did some great stuff on the solo side too. Very happy to have that. Okay, now the big one. You ready for this? You got your Metallica signing bonus. I have got an original copy of Rush Vapor Trails. And,
wow.
This has been on my list, and I've not pulled the trigger on this for quite some time, but have finally decided to. Now, this one it's an interesting one from a Rush fan perspective, because this is technically I don't want to call it the official album, but Vapor Trails Remixed is the album that's readily available. And that is what makes Vapor Trails tremendously valuable for Rush collectors, is the fact that when this one was originally released in 2002, this was, I don't want to get too deep into the Rush history on this with Steve, because it goes, folks will correct me on this, but this is their first album back after Neil Peart's tragic couple of years where he lost his daughter in a car accident, and then less than a year later lost his wife. And he took off and said, I'm done with the band, and went on a journey of self-discovery, which ultimately helped him create the book Ghost Rider. It was about his journeys down the healing road. It's the subtitle of the book. And this was their first album after he decided he had healed enough to come back into the fold and make Rush a band again. But when they released the album, this was during the time period of what has been now referred to as the loudness wars, when everything was digital and they're trying to flatten out the sound for compact disc and the earlier parts of streaming and downloads. And the band was tremendously unhappy with the sound of the mix. They felt that it was too crunchy and overbearing in spots. So a few years later, it was in 2012, I think, 13, that they remixed the album. They had it completely redone. And this is officially the album is Vapor Trail remixed. But Vapor Trails in its original form, the not great sounding version of this, tends to be fairly valuable. I mean, we're talking that pops on Discogs between $400 and $800, depending upon the condition. So this was the last hole in the Rush collection, Steve. So I decided to
check off completist. Check off that completist list now. Got it.
I mean,
done.
Notwithstanding a few bootlegs here and there, but that is it. That does carry it all forward for me. So very happy to have that in.
So 2026 will be the year of They Might Be Giants.
We'll work on it. We'll work on that. So for folks that are curious about the things that we talk about and you want to listen in on what some of these things sound like, you can head over to the description in the episodes. It'll be on the BLEAV.com network page. And subsequently, you should be able to see the descriptions in Spotify and the like. But there'll be a link in there to a Spotify playlist. And on that playlist, you can find much of the music that we discuss in each of the episodes, and you can listen in at your leisure on that. Same thing on the YouTube side. The description in the YouTube episode will have a link to that playlist in there as well, and you can listen in however you want. But stick around with the podcast because things get fun here regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
So did you have a good 2025, Steve?
2020, at first when I was starting to look back, I go, boy, what... Is there something that really stood out there? I began digging and go, oh my God, yes. There's a lot of albums I never even put away because I like them so much. So great new music came out. Reissues that I wanted, that I had been hoping for came out, which was really nice. So I've heard some people go, oh, there wasn't much. It's where you listen or what you're looking for, I guess.
It is. And for me, the year moved so quickly. It seems like we were just discussing, and I probably should have gone back and looked at our early 2025 episodes to see what we were talking about as far as, I know we did predict a couple of these reissues. There's a couple of things that we hit on the nose, and there's other stuff that I think that maybe we didn't get right, but we'll just ignore that and talk about how good we are at guessing. But rather than looking forward, that's next week's episode. Let's look back. And Steve and I, as we do our year-end wrap-ups, we, of course, have the big categories, the stuff that we brought in. And these are subjective. Again, folks, we're not consulting any great wizardry or looking at other folks' lists. This is just Steve and I talking about records and the things that touched our buttons, so to speak, in 2025. And because of that, there's a couple of odd categories in here as well, but fun ones. So right off the bat, Jim, Steve, yeah.
Mine were not subjective. They are the best.
They are the best.
Anybody can argue. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sorry, folks, but it's
as the mayor of the vinyl community, that is your prerogative. So let's start off with just the biggest and the best. The best new album of 2020-25, according to two guys talking about records. I only had a few new albums come in this year, Steve, that I kept. I mean, obviously I see a lot of stuff come through the store, but personally I only kept a few, and I've kind of narrowed them down to 3. But I'm curious what you say is your best new album of the year.
Well, I only had about 40 new albums come in this year. So I'll show a few that we're almost there, but are worth looking into. One is Die Spitz, Something to Consume. If you were fans of L7, this is a place to go. There's punk, there's metal, It's four ladies, and they switch instruments. They know what they're doing, and they have so much power to them. And this was their first full length LP. Die Spitz, Something to Consume. Man, blows your socks off. It was
Yep.
really, really good. On a quieter one, and this is from the UK, the name of the group is Floral Image. And Floral Image put out the album Gone Down Meadowland. And this is just a beautiful sounding, it's psych. It's a quieter psych. It's just a relaxing. You just put it on. I had so many people that they listened to my favorites of 2025, and I put down samples, and they went out to get this album. They liked it that much. It was so interesting. So Floral Image, Gone Down Meadowland, and you can see it's kind of an abstract type cover. Very, very neat. One other that almost was my number one was Gliders Forever. And a lot of people have commented about this one that knew the group of the Gliders, or they put it on and they couldn't believe how cool it sounds. There's a little bit of a country rock in there. There's a little bit of a psych vibe in there. It's the guitar playing is really wonderful. There's a groove that happens to their music. It's a band that's been around for a while. I mean, they got over 10 albums, I believe. It's one that I will explore more because I was so impressed with Gliders Forever. And they gave me a bandana. So, but yeah. But the favorite album of the year was a group out of Australia called Delivery and Force. It's a French Force Majeure. Force Majeure. Thank you, Jim. Your French is so much better than mine. But post punk, Jim. It's that post punk going on with this album. There is some punk on here. There's male female vocals happening. It's a very exciting album. It's the music. Some of it, once in a while, they slow it down a little bit, but for the most part, it really comes at you. Quick pace, but not like angry. This came out early in the year, and I never got tired of it. Delivery, Force Majeure. That was my favorite.
Well, as I mentioned, I only had a few new albums. Billy Strings was in there with the Brian Sutton. It was a live one, which was good, but I didn't quite make it to the top of my list as far as it's more traditional bluegrass than what Billy Strings has been doing. But I've narrowed my top three down here from 2025. First up is Bob Mould and his Here We Go Crazy LP from earlier in the year. Bob Mould, if I could say, his sound does not seem to change too much with his solo work. He's like the AC/DC of distortion alt rock. How's that?
Yeah.
He's reliable.
Yeah.
Good album. It's just not, I think, his best, but it's still up there for me in the year.
Did you hear he's going to redo Sugar?
Is he? I did not hear this yet.
Putting Sugar back together again. Yeah.
That should be very interesting. We'll watch for that. Secondly, was this one from the group Envy of None, and Stygian Waves is the name of this one. This is Alex Lifeson's side project, Alex Lifeson of Rush. But this is nothing like Rush. You can recognize Lifeson's guitar in here, but it's not front and center. It's got the female lead singer, and I forget her name offhand. I probably should know that. But this has got more of an electronica feel to it, but pop, but it isn't. And this is a very difficult album to kind of corner. And this is up there for me, and I like listening to it. But Steve, if I'm going to pick my best new album of the year, and this is a tough one, we're going to go to Wet Leg and Moisturizer. And if only because this one is still catchy. I don't think this is good as their original album. I know we've talked about that before. Their first self-titled blew me away. This does still get a lot of good listening from me. It's on a couple of my playlists, different songs on there. And I've grown to really begin enjoying this a lot more. And so
that one was a grower for me, Jim. That made my top 10 because I really, really liked it. I know we were hesitant about it to go, Can it be as good as this first one? And my first listen was, it's good. yeah, there were some weird videos. They always do weird videos,
Yep.
but it has grown, and there is some incredibly good tracks on that.
There
Yeah.
is, but I think partly because of the limited number of new releases that I brought into the fold this year, that one did rise to the top, partially because of that. It was close. It was seriously close between the Envy of None and Wet Leg, but I decided to go with Wet Leg on top of that one.
Catchy riffs, man. Catchy
Very much
riffs.
so. All right, so let's go to the one thing we did get right back in January, where we called a reissue, didn't we? And
That's
it
right.
came
We
true.
did.
So
Yes.
next up is our best new reissue. So newly
Mhm.
reissued album. Doesn't matter if it had been reissued several times, or in the case of some of these, the first time it's been reissued in many years. I think
Yeah.
I know, but where do you sit on your best new reissue of 25?
All right, just two almost. One was the Mavericks Trampoline. This had never been put out on vinyl. It's my favorite album from the Mavericks. The Tex-Mex is in there, alt country's in there, pop is in this. Wonderful group. The lead singer Raul Malo passed away this year due to cancer, which was very sad. But I've been looking for this thing, hoping that it would come out on vinyl. It was high on my wish list of it needs a reissue, and they did. And this is an album of happiness. I put this on, and so many of the songs, there's a joy to it. So great to have that. Acoustic Sounds put out Howlin' Wolf's Moaning in the Moonlight, and the sound on this blows you away.
Yeah. Yep.
Incredible sounding album. I was just amazing. So happy to and it's a classic. It's Howlin' Wolf's. It's his singles from the 50s put onto one album. You can't go wrong. And this is a great intro to blues, quite honestly. But the final one that Jim and I called because we knew this is what record companies need to do, and they listened because it hadn't been reissued on vinyl. It is, yes, Electric Six Fire. I was when I showed this, some guy, one of my subscribers, he goes, "Yeah, man, I was just listening to which one was it? I think Danger High Voltage." It says, "Go back and put on Gay Bar." He did. He goes, "Wow, well that was different."
Yes.
But oh my god, I know this is Jim and my personal. We both love this album. There might not be a lot of others out there that go nuts about it, but for us, this is great.
The Detroit band Electric Six, and we did say, I think this even before it was announced, we're like, this needs to be reissued. This is our one we're really looking forward. Maybe we're going to have to figure that out again for next year, what needs to be reissued. But here's I'm going to throw a curveball at you, Steve. This was my number 2 reissue this year.
Okay. All right.
My reasonings for this is I've not had, I mean, I've played this obviously, but I just haven't had the chance to sit down and thoroughly get through and enjoy it because, all right, let me put this gently. The majority of my listening is done here in the record store.
Yeah.
And oftentimes there are people coming in with their kids into the record store.
So naked pictures of your mother, that song just
Gay Bar, Nuclear War on the Dance Floor. Yes, those tend to be Electric Demons in Love. I've had this playing in the store, and then somebody comes in with a 5-year-old. I'm like, well, let me pull that off of there if I could. So because of that, and I've given this a lot more, the Smashing Pumpkins reissue of Siamese Dream. And I've gotten a lot more play in the store, but this is a favorite Pumpkins album of mine. But what was impressive about this reissue, and I think that this was one of the Record Store Day, not exclusives, but they call them the RSD.
First?
Not first. They were the RSD. It's like imperative releases or something like that. This is notable because most of the Smashing Pumpkins reissues have been done in the form of $100 box sets. So,
yeah.
And even previous reissues of this, they expanded it in this huge triple LP gatefold type thing. But this one, I think it was on red vinyl also of Siamese Dream. I just really enjoyed this album. So yes, I really love the Electric Six, and I'm happy that it got it reissued. But this has been getting more store play from me because I've always got a copy here to sell.
That is my favorite album from them. So yeah.
Okay, this next category, Steve, this could be an interesting one. And it took me a while to kind of figure out how to frame this, but let's just call it Best New Album of Old Music for 2025. Let me go first to see if we get this. Okay.
Go ahead. Yep.
This is what kind of drew me to it. And this is the release of Pink Floyd at Pompeii, the live concert at Pompeii that came out, recorded in 1971. So it's old music, but this has never been officially released. And this had been bootlegged. I don't know how many times we've talked about and how many Pompeii bootlegs are in my collection from Floyd. But they did such a fantastic job with the sound on this. The packaging is great. No colored vinyl variation. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a box set eventually of this coming out that you'll need to get. But for Pink Floyd at Pompeii, I'm going to call this my best of 2025 new album of old music.
All right. My best new album of old music is the ever popular band Zigzag that most people really dig. And Zigzag's from Zambia. So Zigzag from Zambia. Hey, not often can you get 3 Z's in there.
Well, Zamrock, Zimzag, Zigzag.
That's right. Shigayo Music Kings. It's a form of traditional music out of Zambia, but made into rock. So from the early 70s, they have put their music together, have releases on 2 album sets from Analog Africa. Really nice stuff. Very enjoyable album. I haven't shown it on my channel yet. It will get shown. It drops samples, but Zigzag band. And Analog Africa had a pretty good year this year too.
Cool. All right, Steve, you are officially out of room for box sets. So when we do our wrap up in 2026, there will be no new box sets added, correct?
That is correct, damn it. We're going to do that.
Hold you to this. Now, 25, though, was a decent year for a couple of big box sets. There was a lot of stuff that came through the store here. A couple I kept, and the biggest one that comes to mind for me, not the best one yet, well, not the biggest either. I think the biggest one is my best. But the most recent one was the Pink Floyd I Wish You Were Here 50th anniversary box set. We showed that a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to drag mine out. I'm hard up on space here. But that was up there for me as far as one of the best box sets, but not the best. So what do you have for your best box set of the year?
My best was the Nick Drake, 5 Leaves Left.
Yep.
This was beautiful. It sounded so good, so well done. Generally, I'm not into demos that much, but the demos were very, very nice. So enjoyable. It's one of my favorite Nick Drake albums, and I was so happy that they gave this a deluxe treatment. You have 4 different albums and a wonderful book that is in here. Such a well done box set of Nick Drake material. Love this.
That one proved a little difficult to get a hold of too, didn't it?
It was. It was very. I had a few of those this year, but I was lucky to be able to grab a copy.
Well, my favorite box set of the year was this big honking one from Rush, the Rush 50th anniversary. This, I'm not even going to open it, but yeah, this thing's just massive. It's got the booklet in there and all sorts of posters and all sorts of goodies. This could also have been considered a new album of old music because this is its own release and it's not so much a rehashing as it is a compilation through 50 years. It progresses through 50 years of Rush with several records. But the box set itself, just a beautiful piece of artwork. I'm not even going to attempt to reopen it right now. Because of time, we'll spend the next 20 minutes going through it if we need to. But that's my favorite box set pickup of the year.
Super. No
all
surprise.
Right. Bootleg. Usually we're all about the bootlegs. This year I didn't bring in very many at all for some reason.
Nope. Pink Floyd must not have put out a lot of bootlegs or the Cramps because
or we're
I had
caught
a
up
hard
on them.
time. Yeah, we're caught up. So I had a hard time, but I did get picked up this one. I saw someone brought it up on their channel. It's from the group The Jam, and it's Paris Modern. It's a concert from 1978 in Paris. So this is when the Jam was punkier, but still had that cool sound. They have the modern world on here. The recording is really good. It's
Cool.
excellent sounding recording, and I need more Jam, and
Yep.
great way to start. This is wonderful.
My best bootleg, again, not many. I think this may have been one of the only ones. This is a Pink Floyd bootleg because I don't have enough of those. And this is called Is There Anybody Out There? The Wall, live in 1980 and 81. So these are it's a triple LP. It's a trifold. This thing is humongous. Opens all the way up. And the packaging is really neat, but it's a compilation of different shows of The Wall where they'd perform it live. I think it's got 2 different all the way through lives in there. Came with a poster. Sound quality is okay. It's not fantastic, but it's a Floyd bootleg, and it's one of those rare ones that kind of comes through in it. They even gave you a little wall poster with it as well. Then I don't have a lot of, I guess I do have a couple, but I don't have a lot of Pink Floyd bootlegs of that era in the early 80s.
Yeah, we do have a lot of Pink Floyd bootlegs.
Yes. Now, you mentioned the Elton John best of that you picked up this week and greatest hits. So what about compilations? This is a tough one here as well, because I know folks, you want to save space, so you get a greatest hits or a compilation. Greatest hits or best of are not quite the same thing. Those arguments are for another episode. So what do you have compilation-wise, greatest hits-wise, that you picked up in this year that is your favorite?
Well, I do love greatest hits. I think greatest hits are good, and if people don't like them, well, what's shame on you? But I went more the compilation route, and I'll show 3 real quick. Akasaka Soul Funk. This is Japanese funk music from 1969 to 1977. I'm telling, Japan was funky as all get out. They listened to a lot of James Brown and stuff like that. Great stuff. For those that like funk but want a little more of a Japanese feel to it, you're not going to go wrong with this. A really nice Akasaka Soul Funk. 10 masterpieces of Japanese soul and funk. Then there was this one, and I just recently picked up Simla Beat 70, and this is psych music from India from 1970. They had a psych kind of a concert, and then the bands were brought out to a cheap-ass recording studio that was set up to record their music, some of their songs. And this is what that's from, but it is really good psych stuff. Really nice. Though Born on the Bayou was kind of different when they did that, but really fun. Really liked it. But my favorite is the Roots Rocking Zimbabwe. And this is a variety of groups, a second album from Zimbabwe. It's it's rock. It's not Sam rock because it's from Zimbabwe, not Zambia. It doesn't have all the distortion that you get in Zamrock, but it rocks really hard. The drumming is phenomenal in a lot of these groups. Just really good stuff. This is probably one of my favorite Analog Africa releases, and I have a full cube of them. But this really rocked. What a great compilation. Good stuff.
Well, I only have a couple that I'm considering here, and these weren't released in 25, but I added them in 25, so I'm going to kind of count them. First being the Best of the Stone Roses. This one I've been looking for, should have gotten earlier, but didn't. I think I described this when I picked up the episode a while ago as comfort food for the turntable. But my favorite pickup was a late 2024 release, but I didn't get it until January of 2025. And this is called The Spine Surfs Alone, rather. Sorry, The Spine Surfs Alone from They Might Be Giants. And this is a compilation of some of their stuff and B-sides and some demo versions. but some things that are from They Might Be Giants albums that aren't readily available, like Severe Tire Damage, or the full version of Boss of Me, which was the theme song to the Malcolm in the Middle on there as well. There was one of the Dr. Worm. This is one of the one places you can get the song Dr. Worm, which is a great TMBG song. So favorite comp of the year is They Might Be Giants.
All right.
So as we're digging through our collections looking for this stuff, Steve, there's the one thing that struck me, and I sent this over to you as an idea for a category, because I thought, man, I'm looking through stuff. What am I going to pull for my best ofs?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, here's an album I should be listening to more often. So we've got a category here, and we'll just call it straight up the best album we kind of forgot we had, but really should make it a point to listen to more often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I say straight up, in my case, I mean straight up. This is not a new album, but Badfinger and Straight Up, as I'm digging through looking for stuff, I thought, I forgot I had this. This is such a great album from Badfinger.
Yeah.
Such an underrated band. I mean, you've got, of course, Baby Blue on here and Day After Day. And sometimes this is something that I really need to make more time for on the turntable. Problem is I never have a copy of this in the store to sell, so I better get a reissue. But that's my entry for the best album I kind of forgot I had, but really should make it a point to listen to more often.
Mine's was from Max Richter, the soundtrack to Invasion. And I've been now, after I pulled that out, I've been playing. Invasion is a show on Apple, a sci-fi that I really love. But as so often, music can make a show 10 times better. And this soundtrack, there's quiet beauty to some of the music, and there's just disturbing, scary type music also. So Max Richter, Invasion, season 1. I don't think they did the other 2 seasons for soundtracks, but love it.
So before we get to our best overall addition to the collection in 2025, let's hit the opposite end, Steve. There was a couple of records here and there that I thought, oh, I really shouldn't have got that, and not too happy. But the most disappointing pickup of the year, it's going to happen when you collect records like we do. You're going to pick up some duds from time to time that may end up in a purge, or you may hold on to for whatever reason. So do you have one in that category this year?
Yeah, I had to pull it out of my purge pile, quite honestly.
So it is being purged.
Yeah, Gary Clark Jr. Guy Clark Jr. I'm sorry. No, it is Gary Clark. Oh, my God. It's a G. Gary Clark Jr. He's a bluesman. And so I saw it was on clearance at Barnes & Noble. I decided, okay, going to get some great blues. He went more of a soul electronic route. I put it on and go, well, this sucks. I don't like this at all. Now, I've listened to it a few more times. Okay, but no, I didn't even bother filing it. Put it right to where the purge records go. So super disappointed.
Well, I'm not going to purge my most disappointing pickup of the year simply because I've got more of a personal collection. This is Vixen. They came out with this earlier in 2025, and it's called Rare Vintage from Vixen. You remember the big hair ladies from the 80s. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I told the story before, but I got to ride in a limo with them in the 80s when they were at a concert at our school, at the college. But this one I was looking forward to. It's a neat compilation of rare stuff from there, and the sound is horrible. It's enough to make you go, this is really not great. It's a mixture of levels. It's a mixture of sound quality. There's even one where I believe it's a live album, a live cut, that they don't bother fading in and out the audience. It's just, they clip it. And there's even a cut. Now, a little known fact here that Vixen in one shape or form was in a 1980s B movie called Hard Bodies. They were a band playing in the background. Okay. And they actually have a song that they performed in this movie. And right in the back, it says, with dialogue from Hard Bodies. So it's not, I mean, it's great. And I'm going to keep it because I had that connection with the band, but it's not a listen to at all because quite frankly, the sound quality is horrible on a lot of it. And it's just very poorly put together. Disappointing. Yep. So now we've gotten that out of our system. Overall, Steve, how did you do in 2025 collection wise? You think you had a good year?
I had a good year. Yeah, there was some great stuff. There wasn't anything like, oh, that's $1,000 record like some other people. But three of them just real quick. The Best of Muddy Waters. This is a mono original in almost mint condition. Picked up at a record store. They don't sell blues, so they dropped the price way down and got a great deal. Couldn't ask for a better Muddy Waters album than that. Just gorgeous condition. Then there was Sonic Youth. I was able to get Sister, and it's the unedited cover. This is the original where they had the artwork that where they had to pull it and they blacked out the artwork. But this had all the original stuff. It was one of the Sonic Youths. I don't need all of their stuff, but this is one I really, really wanted. So happy to get Sister. But the biggest one that I've been looking for ever since the flood and have not been able to find it, and it finally happened, the Cramps Bad Music for Bad People. This is an album I was obsessed on finding and looking. I did see it on sale at times, or not on sale, that's the problem, at incredibly stupid high prices that even me, who tends to jump and, go, oh, I'll just buy it, didn't pull the trigger. So, it had to be really expensive. But finally got my copy of, to me, one of my all-time favorite albums, Cramps Bad Music for Bad People.
And I remember your story about walking into a record show after you moved to Colorado and going, oh, and you didn't even bother to check and see if it was a reissue.
Yeah.
That's why you were so obsessed with it.
Yes. And then to go into a record store and there it is. And then the guy gives me a deal. He goes, you know what? I see how much that means to you. I'm cutting the price down.
Very cool.
Oh, yep.
So my best overall addition to the collection in 2025, Steve, I tell you what, this was such a late entry into it, the Rush Vapor Trails.
Oh.
Because it's a big album. It's a little pricey, as you said, but I got a decent deal on it as well. This one was, almost dethroned, but the biggest addition to the collection this year has to be the Butcher cover of Yesterday and Today from the Beatles that I picked up midway through the year. I don't listen to this as often as I'm going to listen to Rush, obviously, but from a collection standpoint, this is such a cool thing to have, such a cool thing to say that you've got in there. It even has the letter from Capitol, and I did do my due diligence. And if you go back to that episode when we talked about the pickup, I did spend a great deal of time verifying that this is legit as a third state being the peeled cover off of Yesterday and Today. So overall, I think that this does count as probably one of the best additions to the collection. It's going to be a hard one to top in years to come, to tell you the truth.
Yep, it sure will be, Jim. That is one of those crown jewels.
Fun one to get and find. And I keep this at home, not here in the store, but people who watch the podcast after we got this, hey, can I take a look? Can I see that? And so I was like, well, I don't have it here, but folks just want to be able to see one. And I'm lucky enough to, having been the store here, this is the second one I've seen. The first one, the guy wanted way too much money for it, and I kind of had to pass, but it was also a second state, meaning it was unpeeled. But this one, because of the peel, is a little more affordable, but still a great addition. So,
yeah. Take a screenshot of that so when people ask, you just pull up.
There we go. Here's what it looks like. So how did you folks do in 2025? Did your collections grow exponentially, or are you very particular about what you bring in? What were some of your favorites? What are the things that you're like, man, I'm so happy I've got this in there? Or do you have any duds like we did as well? But feel free to chime in the comments wherever you be maybe watching and or listening. And feel free to use some of our categories as well, because I especially like to hear from folks if there's an album you kind of forgot you had, because this gives you a good exercise to go back through those collections and find some gems that you may want to revisit.
Yep, very true. Now, a lot of fun. I always love the end of year list to see what people like, what they found, and especially the new music. Very
Indeed.
Nice.
And we went a little bit long, but that's okay, Steve. We're a network station now.
Yeah.
Well, they've got us for a year, so how's that? They can't kick us off just yet, but I think we're going to hold true. But Steve, as always, I am very thankful for being able to spend time with you each and every week as we do here. This time of year, everybody does those little retrospectives, but I am truly blessed to have you as a friend in the vinyl community and a partner on this podcast. I don't want to get too mushy here, but man, this is a lot of fun.
It is. No, it's been the best time, and can't think of a better way to keep a friendship going than every week. Hey, we're still going to talk about records. So we've been
We
doing
are.
it for years. We keep it going, and what more could you ask for?
I also want to kick out a big thank you to the folks at the BLEAV Podcast Network for bringing us into the fold. We'll do our best to try to keep your audience happy on this side, not drive too many away, but at the same time, we thank you for the opportunity you guys are giving us as well. But mostly for a great 2025, both I think Steve and I want to thank all of you folks who listen and watch us each and every week. Not the reason we do it, but you are a big reason that makes this fun.
Yeah, it does. It is a lot more fun when you know people are actually watching.
That's true. Hey, because you and I could just video chat if we felt like it. So
Yes. So yeah, huge thank you.
well, Steve, you have a great new year. And folks, when we come back in the first part of 2026, the first Sunday, we're not going to miss a beat here. We will give kind of our year ahead look. So we're looking back, now we'll look ahead.
You bet.
All right.
All right.
Happy New Year, Steve. And thanks again, everyone, for watching Two Guys Talking About Records. Until next week, my name is Jim, and I own a record store.
I am Steve, a record collector. Happy New Year. Bye.